Welcome, my friends, to this early access showdown featuring the Beastmen, who shall be led by Morkur the Shadowgave. And today, guys, he's going to be facing off against the Empire, who shall be led by Markus Wolfheart. So yes, the Hunts Marshal is here to hunt down this foul beast in River Amazon. Not really sure how Morkur ended up in Lustria, but doesn't he kind of lurk into the south of the Empire in that kind of area? But anyways, a discussion for another time. As far as the build goes here in the front line, it's going to be gore herds, and I didn't really change too much as it pertains to my build against the Empire. Gore herds with shields are pretty solid. They can usually beat most state troops with 31, 35, 30. They have shields, and obviously that's going to be very useful against the new Empire, which is going to have a ton of missiles. They have the wagons, they have the huntsmen, they have the archers, all kinds of stuff coming my way. So on the front, it's going to be 4 of those guys. And we do have the dual caster. So firstly, we have the Brave Shaman with Beasts, with a Manticore Summon. Then we do also have a Brave Shaman with Death, who's going to be dropping Spirit Leech. And the Purple Sun, I can't remember if I brought that on purpose or, yeah, I think it was an accident. But anyways, maybe there's going to be a Purple Sun, which will be awesome. We do also have Morkur the Shadowgave as well, a bunch of archers in the back, so Ungor Raiders. I figure they'll be pretty effective against like Huntsmen and more expensive archer units. And you know what? The Empire archers are actually cheaper than Ungor Raiders, and I think their stat line's a little bit better. So that's a nice little niche for the Empire. 2 Harpies up in the sky, but the rest of the army is going to be just a bunch of, Ungors and Vanguard deployment, Centaurs with great weapons mixed with Hounds. And I figured the Centaurs with great weapons would be good because obviously the Empire is going to have their wagons, which are armored and big, and you need a little bit of, AP punch to really drag those guys down. So that's going to be it for my force. And for the forces of the Great Dov plays his signature Pistoliers. He does have 3 of those guys. On top of that, he's got 2 Huntsmen right here. And in the force, he's got Empire Knights doing the work of Sigmar there. And this is a really important thing, guys. He has the Black Lions Regiment for now, the War Wagon Hellblaster, who's going to be teaming up with Markus Wolfheart to definitely snipe out some of my high-value assets. And I have a feeling that Dov is going to be going after my Brave Shaman here. And he does also have an Amber Wizard up in the sky. And Terror Routes are pretty good against Beastmen. If you're not going to be going with like a big Demogryph Knight Hammer or units that really require a lot of healing, this is a pretty good choice. It causes terror, it has a lot of punch, and can certainly win you the game in the late game. So that's pretty much it, and I don't think I missed anything else. Looks like, yeah, just Huntsman in the Forest and Markus and the War Wagon, and that is pretty much it. So let's get this show on the road, guys, and have some fun. So firstly, the Hellblaster is going to be teaming off. It looks like I think it's trying to shoot the Brave Shaman, but of course the Brave Shaman is a little bit obstructed here by the Gore Herds, who are going to be eating some of those shots here. But no, it's going after the Gore Herds and doing some pretty juicy damage. Almost has him down to half health. In the meantime, the Pistoliers put a little bit of pressure on my Ungors, but I was able to pull those guys back into the forest. And the Harpies are going to be flying forward. Both Dov and I are going to be summoning Manticores. So the Beast on Beast action here, you can see the Feral Manticore is going to be up, and I believe his Amber Wizard is going to be dropping a summon in a moment. But the Harpies I'm basically scouting, and it might have been a bit of a mistake. I probably should have been more conservative with the Harpies, but I just wanted to kind of fly over here, see what was in the forest so I could kind of gauge what I should be doing. In the front line, Gore Herds are going to be slamming into the Flagellants. Very, very messy affair here as these 2 equally berserk units, although I think these guys are a little bit more kind of dedicated to Sigmar than the Gore Herds are to whatever god they worship. Up in the sky, we have the Manticore duel. However, Markus is able to drop the Hunter's Net, which snares down Morkur, and my Manticore, and it looks like his Manticore is going to be getting the jump, and therefore doing a very, very good job here. On the flank, I do have Centaurs coming in. I have Poison Hounds, and Dov is going to be rotating his spears to kind of screen here, and he has a lot of Empire Knights. Empire Knights do lose in a head-up fight against Centaurs, but, if they get the charge, they can actually do pretty well. Plus, Dov also does have the support of the Amber Wizard, so it's certainly not a bad situation for them like it normally would be. So my Manticore got beaten down by the Empire Manticore, and in the front line, the Gore Herds with shields are going to be fighting Spearmen. Ideal situation for me. My Gore Herds are going to be pushing into the Huntsmen. So I get a pretty good little collapse here. You can see that the Huntsmen are taking a lot of damage here from the Ungor Raiders. And yeah, I mean, they're getting poked down. They have no missile resist. They only have 25 armor as well. But something that's been really good is that Dov has been using the Hunts Marshal, Markus Wolfheart, to snipe out my Brave Shaman with Death. So basically I brought this guy to finish off wagons and to snipe Markus myself, but he was able to use his focus shot, and also I believe he used the Amber Bow, and he pretty much just gooned out my caster. And Dov, if that's not the case, I'm pretty sure you did that, but I just missed it, but nonetheless, very, very good stuff there. Over here in the flank, we have a pretty good battle for the Beasts. We are able to wrap up these Empire Knights, plus we do also get a decent little surround on the Amber Wizard. So very good situation for me, potentially one that could kind of lead me to victory here. If I'm able to kind of get this Amber Wizard, get that terror off the battlefield, it's going to be a huge boon for the Beast people. The Summon Manticore for the Empire is going to be disappearing, so that's quite nice. No more pressure in the back line. There are some Flagellants back here causing problems, but Morkur is there with his cane, and he's going to be able to heal just fine. But the War Wagons are still going. The Black Lions here are still online. They have 35 kills. It looks like they were shut down for quite some time, but nonetheless, the Empire Knights are able to hammer my front line and break down the Gore Herds. And the Pistoliers on the far side are able to do some pretty good work, push off my Brave Shaman, push off some of my Harpies and other scrappy units. Granted, the Harpies are a pretty good tool against like Pistoliers, but the Hunter's Net is going to be going down, so Markus Wolfheart nets my forces here. But Morkur the Shadowgave, the clever beast, although I don't really know if he's clever per se, but a vile, sinister, whatever word you want to use, he's going to be summoning some Chaos Spawn. So I summon them right over here by Markus to chase him in just a moment, I think, or maybe that's a little bit later in the game, but it does happen eventually. Pistoliers have a nice position, and Daw from here is probably going to be able to sweep my back line, so he's going to get onto the Raiders and these other troops and definitely do some good work. Granted, the center is going quite well for me. I'm able to break up the spears, the Ungor herds are all in relatively good shape, and the Chaos Spawn are going to be going after Markus here, and also Centaurs are going to be collapsing in. Now, the Terror route from the Amber Wizard was able to break off my Centaur pressure, but I also figured it would be a better priority to come in here and take out the wagons. So the wagons are being assaulted by a horde of beasts and harpies and all sorts of foul denizens of the... where do they lurk? Oh, what is that forest called? Is it the Drakenwald Forest? I think is what it's called, where like the Beastmen are always kind of hanging out. But the black lions here do go down. It looks like they're going to be getting chased off for the most part. I think Harpy should be able to kind of pin them. And Markus Wolfheart is in a relatively bad situation. He's fully surrounded by an army of beasts here, but Zob does have a nice little play in his back pocket. He's going to be able to summon a Manticore here. So the Manticore is going to be jumping out here and probably getting a pretty good terror up, honestly, and maybe just finishing off my Brace Shaman. It's really good that he did finish off my Deathcaster because, the Manticore summons kind of have an expiration date. But, oh, that's actually my Manticore. Oh, that's even better. But, the Deathcaster could be Spirit Leeching over the course of the whole game. So I have a really nice pocket here. Bounce Power is pretty heavily in my favor, but also remember I'm playing Beastmen, guys, and it's very deceptive because I do have summons. I have a Manticore out, I have some Chaos Spawns still fighting, so it's really not accurate. Granted, the Black Lions are going to be taken out. Poison Hounds will 100% finish them. I have some Beasts kind of coming back in the distance that could be helpful. But the Pistolers are also running a little bit dry on ammo, which is going to be a tough situation. But the Huntsmen in the forest still firing. I mean, I thought I got these guys earlier in the game. I mean, I had a great collapse on them. They got pushed off, but somehow they came back. And the Huntsmen are going to be able to put some incremental damage into my forces, which should be quite strong. Now, if you look here, Morker the Shadowgate doesn't have too much support. The Brace Shaman is broken somehow due to, I don't know what possibly broke him. Maybe Markus sniping him. But anyways, I do summon some Chaos Spawn, and they're going to be hunting down Markus Wolfheart. He does have fleet-footed, so when there's enemies near him, he gets a little bit faster. So Markus does have 43 speed right now, but the Chaos Spawn do have 42, and also you have to take into account charge acceleration. So I'm not really sure what happened with those Chaos Spawn. I had them attacking here, but for some reason they just ran back that direction. Purple Sun's going to be going down here to peel off, so it actually ended up being useful because my Beastcaster did come back. Yeah, it's like the last hoorah before he gets taken out by the Huntsmen. So the Huntsmen are going to be hunting the foul beast, and down he goes. 86 lives, -17. He is probably going to be shattering if not being taken out. So Bounce Fire is pretty heavily in my favor here, guys. It's looking grim bones, but remember, I have a Manticore, I have Chaos Spawn, and when they disappear, it is going to help out the Bounce Power quite a bit. So now the battle is going to be devolving into a bit of a kite and fight situation. As far as units I have left, I have some Gore Herds, I have some Haggard Gore Herds over here, but all my summon units are going to be disappearing as they're almost able to finish off Markus, but Markus somehow is able to survive that onslaught of Chaos Spawn. Really good stuff there, and I mean, yeah, man, 900 HP. I mean, he's just so buttered up right now. Anyways, he's going to be surviving 973 on this bad boy, and the HUNTS Marshal is immune to Psychology too, which is very cool. Granted, Chaos Spawn do not cause terror, so it's not going to terror out him, but having that boon is really nice. Plus, he's also quite a bit faster than Morker the Shadowgate when his fleet-footed is active. So if I'm not able to get him, he could potentially kite me into the Shadow Realm. So over here we have Empire Knights that are somewhat healthy. 25 models right here. We have 15 Empire Knights right there. And look at this, the Amber Wizard is back. It's a little bit of a flock of doom right there, not going to do much against a single entity, but it still sends a message that the Empire is certainly down, but not out of this fight. So right now my Brace Shaman's going to be going in, and Markus is lining up the single entity shot, but it looks like he cancels the attack right there as the Brace Shaman is able to close the distance and get a nice blow on Markus. Now the Brace Shaman doesn't hit like an absolute linebacker, but it's almost enough to finish off Markus. 312. But yeah, it looks like the Amber Wizard. The thing is I'm ahead on the Bounce of Power, guys, but this is all I have left with these two characters. And if he's able to get Terror Routes, that's why Terror is just so good against Beastmen type factions. Like, all he needs to do is Terror Route and break off like one of these characters, including Morker. I mean, Morker looks like he is immune to Psychology right now, so is he always immune to Psychology? I can't remember that. That might actually be a change. Is he? That's interesting. I don't remember him. I guess he had that before. Yeah, anyways, there's something I'll have to think about, but yeah, the Empire's able to clean up here. I'm really far ahead on the Bounce of Power, but it's very superficial. I mean, he still has his Huntsman here, and the Brace Shaman with Beast. Like, if he comes in with a single charge on the Amber Wizard, that guy could just get broken off the battlefield. Amber Wizard has 382 HP, but it looks like the Brace Shaman is at 11. He might be breaking. I do have some Centaurs who are lurking in the forest here, but they do actually get caught up by some Spearmen who had a nice little formation there. We're able to kind of block my charge. And Morker the Shadowgate, it gets a little bit grindy here, so I'll fast forward for you guys. He's just going to be fighting his way out of these Empire Knights. And here, the big old caster does come in, and that's what I'm talking about. That one Terror Route just like fluxes the whole Bounce of Power. And also Markus Wolfheart's back, 312. Is he going to stabilize? I don't know. It's pretty tough. There are some beasts nearby, but If he does stabilize, that is pretty much spells doom for me, because then he could just kite me and shoot me, and Markus has a ton of ammunition, so I don't think there's going to be any big threats there. Anyways, the Bray Shaman is broken. I'm not sure why he didn't keep chasing it, but the Bray Shaman anyways comes back, and then you can see the bounce power does reflect that, but basically this is all I have is this little Haggard Goon squad, so we're going to be going into the forest and hunting down the Huntsman here, but Markus gets a huge sniping shot and actually shatters my other beast character. He gets a couple shots on Morker, and Morker's trying to put the jukes into the forest here, and Markus is going to shatter due to the presence of Morker and obviously him being nearby. Just how he's so beat up at this point. But then the Empire comes in with a horde of Pistoliers, and guys, he still has Huntsmen online, but the really bad thing for me is the Amber Wizard. So I'm ahead on the bounce of power. We'll fast forward a little bit as this final showdown does commence. The Flock of Doom's going to be going down. Morker is doing his best, but all it's going to take is one break. And rear charges, even with immunity to Psych, rear charges can break the spirit of this foul beast. As the Hunts Marshal, he survives, a little bit tattered and beaten up, but he's able to pull out the victory. So very well played to Dov. I know during the game he certainly thought he had lost that, but really against Beastmen, there's so many superficial inflations of the bounce of power. Obviously, the big thing that lost me the game was losing the Bray Shaman early. I mean, there's plenty of misplays aside from that, but I should have just hit him in the forest. The River Amazon has like a free forest to hide in. I could have just sat back there and overcasted Spirit Leeches all day. I had so much Winds of Magic wasted. Oh, it was horrible. So I could have sat back in the forest, and I'm not saying it would have won me the game, but it would have helped quite a bit, right? So sitting back there, not letting my caster get sniped, I lost so much value on that, which was painful. But aside from that, Pistolier play was great. Huntsmen were awesome. The War Wagon didn't do too much, but at the very least, it did force me into some like big terror situations. And it was just a super fun game, and Dov played super well. So very well played to Dov. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Make sure to go check out his YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.